Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today inshallah we're gonna start discussing Surat Al-Kahf, and it has a very special place in our daily life as a Muslims. So we're gonna discuss a little bit about the reason why it was revealed by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and we gonna talk about also about the rewards or the benefit of the surah and why we are recommended to recite it every Friday. So, in the beginning, there is an hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He said, Whoever recites Surah Al-Kahf on Friday will have a light that shines for him between this Friday and the next. Okay? So, in Arabic, I'm gonna mention the hadith also in Arabic. من قرأ سورة الكهف في يوم الجمعة أضاء له من النور ما بين الجمعتين. So when you read Surat Al-Kahf, it will give you light, or it will give you that enlightenment through within these two Jum'ahs. And there is also another benefit of it, that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that if you saved the first 10 ayahs of Surah Al-Kahf, you will be protected from Masih al-Dajjal, the false Messiah. Okay? So one of them is like if you memorized, or one of them if you read the 10 ayahs of the first 10 ayahs of Surah Al-Kahf, you will be protected from Fitnat al-Masih al-Dajjal, or from um, the false Messiah in the life after, or on the days. Then, so let's discuss more. Like, when I think more about the name of Al-Kahf, Al-Kahf, it means the cave. Okay? So when I think more about it, like, why would it give us that light between each of the weeks or each Friday? And why Prophet Muhammad ﷺ advises to read Surah Al-Kahf? When I think about it, maybe the cave is a resemble of a place, of a protected place you need to go every week to reflect and think and see what type of thing you did this month, this week. It's like your own time to meditate, to think what I want to do in the next week or so on. It's like your own special place. You know, people who go like into a cave or go for like a meditation or a retreat, they just want to be alone in one place. So maybe this surah is telling us that we need to take a time for ourselves each week and start to reflect on the things that we have in our life, the goals that we have in our life. What do we need to do? Plus, by reading Surah Al-Kahf, which is we're gonna go through the next couple weeks, inshallah, there's lots of stories. One of them is the story of Ashab al-Kahf, people of a cave. Almost there is 5 stories. There's not only one story in Surah Al-Kahf. So every story in Surah Al-Kahf, it has a meaning for you. And why Allah or Rasul Sallallahu advise us to read it each week. There is something there that we need to be reminded of each week. That's why it's so important to read it. And this is what we're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss it in a more psychological way. We're going to discuss it to see what type of benefits I can get and I can apply in my daily life. What type of things that I can apply in my lifestyle in general as a day-to-day. Why do I need to repeat this surah each week? What's the benefit is gonna tell me? What's the thing that's gonna remind me of? Okay, and this is what we're gonna go step by step, inshallah. May Allah give us barakah and open us the doors of understanding and the knowledge of the hidden wisdom behind of this surah, and the hidden wisdom behind of all the stories within. As we discussed the story before, story of Yusuf, the story of Maryam, the story of Musa alayhi salam, Surah Al-Qasas. We discussed many of the surahs. You can find them in my YouTube channels. But all of them was mentioned for a reason. Allah is mentioning us, or mentioning these stories that happened long time ago with specific details for us to learn from it. There is message behind it because we can use it in our life. We can benefit from it in our life without falling into certain type of situation. So learning about it and trying to read it each week, it definitely can give us some hint, some reminder of something we missed. That's why we need to keep reading it each week. And that's what, inshallah, we're gonna try to discover, what we're gonna try to dig deep into the wisdom behind of the word and how can I use it. It's not like something has happened since a long time. No. Quran is for every time and place. Okay, so how can I use it? What Allah trying to tell me in my current life in 2026? How can I use these stories, this ayah, to benefit me in my life? How can I reflect it on myself psychologically, on all different type of aspect? Once we make our angle of seeing things much abroad, our perspective much abroad, here where is the door of knowledge is gonna open to you because we start to think it from different angle. Okay. So this is subhanallah one of the things that I was trying to reflect about, which is the name of Al-Kahf or the cave. And as again, like it's something very, as we said, like maybe it's a place, your own place every week to just reflect and think and meditate and see what type of goals do you have? Do I need to change them? What type of things I need to change? The deeds I'm doing. Am I doing something wrong? It's like your own specific time every week to just go inside this cave and try to reflect and think, and then go out of this cave with a more better perspective about your life, better goals, better improvement in your lifestyle in general. Okay. So this is the two hadith that we mentioned of the benefit of what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ advised us to read Surah Al-Kahf. Another thing is why the reason of the revealing of Surah Al-Kahf. So they said that Jewish, they came to prove if Muhammad ﷺ was the prophet or not. So they came and asked the people of Medina, and they asked them, ask prophet, your prophet, about the three peoples or the people of Al-Kahf. Okay, and if he answered correctly as what's mentioned in their book Torah, they will believe him. So that's why Allah sent revealed Surah Al-Kahf, which is mentioning the famous story of Al-Kahf. So this is one of the main reasons why Surah Al-Kahf was revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. So now we're gonna start inshallah ayah by ayah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. Okay, so it started with Alhamd, praising be to God, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, who sent the book, okay, to his servant or his worshipper, okay, which is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he made it straight. He made it not having. Second. Okay. ولم يجعل له عوجا. عوجا, it means something not straight. So he sent him the book with lots of clearance that it's a straight path. It doesn't need to go right and left, or it doesn't need to be not clear. It guides you to the straight path. Okay? And this is one of the miracles of the book, subhanallah, the Qur'an, that it's tibyanan likulli shay. There's another ayah, Allah saying, it's give you the clarification of everything. It will not it will not mislead you to things. And this is subhanallah why Allah preserved it for as a last book, the last revelation. Okay. قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدن. Okay, so he said قيما. قيما, okay, it has two meanings. It could be straight, okay, and it comes from the word قيم, قيمة. قيمة in English is value, okay, and this is one of the things that in Qur'an, it's specified in Qur'an that it has lots of values. It teaches you not only the morals, but there is deep value, core value that we as a human is very important for us. Okay? And this is what it comes to teach people. This is what comes to help us build the community. A community without a core values, it will be corrupted. So this is one of the things that Quran is very special, is it has lots of values. Okay, why it has lots of values, or what's the benefit of it? لِيُنذِرَ بَأْسًا شَدِيدًا مِنْ لَدُنْ. Okay, so it's gonna be a warning of a severe punishment. Okay, من لدن. And well, وَيُبَشِّرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا حَسَنًا. Yubashir here is giving a good news, like he is telling a good news that something good is gonna happen for the believers, okay, and who did good deeds, that they gonna get a reward, or a very good reward, an excellent reward toward whatever deed they did. So it has two jobs. This book was revealed to give you two jobs. It has values, okay, and these values, then it gives you a warning for the people who do sins, they do bad deeds. And in the other side, it gives you a good yubashir, is give you the good news to the believers who do good deeds, that they're gonna have a good reward. And this is a very interesting word. So yubashir in Arabic, okay, yubashir, the original word in Arabic fusha is bashara. Bashara is like coming from bashara. Bashara is like the skin or the face in Arabic. So when you give someone a good news, it's actually appear on his face. So again, if you give a good news to someone, it will look in his face. So that's why it's using in Quran, subhanallah, وَيُبَشِّرَ, because it's gonna be looking at their face when they get to know this news about the good rewards that they're gonna get. Okay? So this is one of the deep meaning of some of the words in Arabic. Okay? Then مَاكِثِينَ فِيهِ أَبَدًا, and they will always stay in it. Okay? مَاكِثِينَ, المكوث is like staying in it, which is the life after. And here in the ayah, it's like Allah saying that don't get occupied with the temporary life that I'm giving you. Focus on the life that's gonna last forever, which is the life after. And this is what is really matters. This is what type of investment, a good investment you can do. Do you want to do an investment in something that can go away, that will end, or you want to do an investment in something that will last forever? So subhanallah, Allah has given us these examples. Allah has given us that there is an end to this life, hayatul dunya. Don't try to be so much occupied with it. Do good deeds, try to do whatever is required from you, but don't get attached to it, because eventually it's gonna end. And Allah keep reminding us with this in lots of ayahs in Quran. And maybe this is one of the part of the thing why we advise to recite Surat Al-Kahf. every week, even if you don't read Quran in general. Some people might not like read Quran every day, but maybe in Jum'ah, if they read this surah, it will give you like lots of reminding that this life is temporary. Don't get attached to it too much. Try to focus on what type of things you invest your time, your effort, and everything. Your money, doing sadaqah, doing zakah, and so on. Okay? And we talk about this one, I think, in one of the previous sessions, is about the, in psychology, we have something called delayed gratification, which is they did some of the experiment. I don't know if you know the marshmallow experiment, which is they found out the people who delay getting their reward and they were patient to get like the marshmallow, they told them you're gonna get 2 pieces of marshmallow or so on later on. Anyway, the general concept of it is that they found the people who became more successful in life later on, the one they waited to get the reward, not like instant reward. They waited later on for the reward. So subhanallah, even if sometimes you feel like, okay, I'm doing good deeds, I'm doing good stuff, but I want to see the result right now, you can take it in life, in hayat dunya. You can take, Allah will give you some rewards. But which one would you put more effort and invest more in the reward that you're gonna get in the life that will not go away, that you're gonna stay in it forever? So this is something, subhanallah, we can see it, as we mentioned, applied in our life, but it's actually true. Delayed gratification, if you read about it, like it's a beautiful concept always. And I think this is also one of the things that we came to life to be trained of. Holding your desires, controlling your desires. Everyone wants to get the reward directly. Everyone wants to get the things, the result that he wants, and the things that, the beautiful things, the everything, to be successful instantly. But subhanallah, once you control this desire and wait for something bigger, you will get a bigger reward. And this is applied for hayat dunya and the life after. Okay, then وَيُنذِرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا. And it warns the people who said, okay, or that Allah has a son. Okay, so again, it was also mentioned, like as the original of the story, Jewish people, when they come to make sure that he's the prophet, it's this ayah was reflecting, telling them that there is no son. So it's a warning for the people who took or who said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a son. ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم. They don't have the knowledge, them or their dads or their fathers. Okay? And this is something interesting. Like there's lots of ayah in Qur'an that Allah is saying that they just follow what their parents said. They just follow what their tribe said, or they just follow what they get used to it. And again, like Allah is saying, you don't have knowledge about it. How come you follow something you don't have enough knowledge about it? You just follow it as like the herd, like just following as the sheep, how it's following. And subhanallah, this is what Allah always trying to tell us, that don't follow blindly. Even like if they gonna believe that there is son of God, there all of these misconception or the false accusation, at least do it with knowledge. Like at least make sure, search, know, read, seek knowledge, then see. Subhanallah, and this is why Allah is always telling us, أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Don't they think? Don't they use their mind? Don't they? And the first word in Qur'an was revealed is the word of read. Allah always telling us, read, then follow. Don't just follow blindly. And this is, subhanAllah, how we can reflect it in our life, in how we live in general. Sometimes we have beliefs that we have been grown on, believing that this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, and so on. But how we know that this is fact, 100% fact? We need to seek knowledge. We need to search for other answer. We need to make sure that what we believe is the right thing. If it's not, then it's time to remove it. Otherwise, it's going to be a limiting belief. So it applied to everything. Everything. Try to seek knowledge. Try to not just follow blindly. And now, subhanAllah, like Allah has given us lots of tools, internet, they give us AI, lots of things that can really help you and make it easy for you to get a piece of knowledge you're searching for. So there is no excuse. Because in the life after, in the day of judgment, when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will tell you why you didn't search, why you didn't seek knowledge, why you didn't try. Again, we're accounted for our sa'i, for our effort. Even if we didn't find the answer, even if we didn't solve the problem, but at least we tried. And this is what we're gonna be accountable of. Sa'i, the effort. The result is not important, but at least you did something about it. So even with this one, Allah is trying to argue with them. You don't have knowledge about it. How come you said there's God has a son? Like Allah trying to speak to our mind. And subhanAllah, this is what I love about Islam in general, and about our religion, is everything that comes is like, it needs to make logic. It needs to be proven. It's give you proof. It's not just like follow and don't say anything. Follow and just don't say no. Because we all created with brain and thinking ability. So why would Allah give us this ability if we're not going to use it? And it's shown in Qur'an. Like Allah's given us stories, given us example, given us all type of things, and telling us, use your mind, use your thinking. And don't listen to anyone who tells you, no, don't try to think. Don't try to doubt. Don't try to search, dig into something. No, do. Please do. Because actually, this is the way for your faith to be strengthened more and more. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of seeking knowledge into something you feel maybe not 100% sure about it. Search. Look for it. It's totally fine. Allah is seeing your effort. Allah is seeing that what you are trying with. And Allah will help you to find the answer, to find the right path. Okay? Then, كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم. So, it's a big word that comes out of their minds, of their mouth. Okay? إن يقولون إلا كذبا. Whatever they say, what they say is nothing but lies. Okay? So imagine how big to just say this big lie. Again, we know as Muslims that Allah don't need a son. Why would He need a son? He's the creator of the whole universe. Why would He need to have a son? It's create a son or a family member. It's us, for us as a human, because we have needs. Our creator doesn't have needs. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he's telling him, are you going to worry yourself to death over them, even if they did believe of this, whatever they didn't believe in the message, or feeling sorry about them? So I'm gonna discuss some of the Arabic words. So فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ. باخِعٌ is actually like exhausting yourself to the extreme level. وبخع, there is some deep word in Arabic, which is, it's the artery in the back of the neck. And they say it like when they kill the sheep, if they reach to this artery, that means he's definitely dead. It's like the last, the last breath, or he's definitely gonna be dead if they reach the knife till there. So bakha'a in general is like you're really exhausting yourself to death, trying to convince someone of something. You're harming yourself, trying to confess something with your opinion or with your message or whatever it is in general. Again, we're trying to see it, how does this respect in our life, okay? So, subhanallah, when I think about it in a more psychological way, is sometimes because you love someone so deeply, and this someone, he really matters to you. Let's say he's a family member, or your parents, or a close friend, and because you love them and you want them, your intention is good toward them, you try to convince them of something, or convince them aware of something, any type of things, but you end up reaching a point that you're harming yourself. You're exhausting yourself to a level that is not good, whether you're for mental health or for your physical health, any type of harm. And subhanallah, this is, we see it a lot, like especially for a mom trying, let's say, to convince her son or her daughter to pray, and she keep telling them, but it reached to a point that she got really exhausted and crying and, like devastated, and might go into lots of pain or so on. Not only about praying, like it could be different, any type of, even non-religious, something not related to religion. The concept of it is sometimes you get too much attached to this person, and your attachment for good intention because you love them. So it turns up into forcing them or trying to control them to get to the result or the expectation you put in your mind. And this is controlling. This is end up harming yourself. Why? Because you don't have control over people. You only have control over yourself and your action. That's why you can only, the maximum thing you can do is advising them. And subhanallah, this is what Allah always even tell Muhammad, the prophet of the whole ummah. He's always telling him, don't try to harm yourself just to convince them with the message. وَلَيْسَ عَلَيْكَ هُدَاهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. You are not the one who guide them. Allah will guide them if He want. And in Surat Al-Kafirun, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينٌ. If they didn't convince with your religion, just tell him, this is your religion, this is my religion. And subhanallah, this is one of the character of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. He has lots of empathy. And this is why he was sent as a mercy for rahmatan lil alameen. So he was always worried. He always loved and cared that he wants all people to go into Islam. He doesn't want for the mushrikeen and the kuffar is to go to hellfire. But again, Allah always trying to remind Muhammad sallallahu is don't harm yourself while doing this message or sending this message. Asafa here, إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث. Asafa is sorry, the extreme level of feeling sorry or grief. Because he is so I'm sorry. He have lots of empathy. But this empathy is a good thing to a certain level. When it's got extreme that you are damaging and destroying yourself, this is something wrong. You need to stop this. And subhanallah, this is another sign Allah is telling us, is that always put yourself as a priority. As long as you don't harm someone else, always think about yourself first. And even telling this to Muhammad sallallahu, to our Prophet, is like, don't harm yourself just because you're putting other people's in front of your good intention. So always put yourself first. If it's reached to a point isn't harming you, that's the time you're doing something wrong. Because in Islam, even in general, like the main thing in Islam is to save the humankind, is to try to have uh, uh, 1 second. So always, subhanallah, in Islam, Allah is trying to give us all this halal and haram, the things, eat this, don't eat this, do this, not to do this, to protect us from something, to not harm ourselves. It's for our own benefit. So anything that could harm you or cause you pain, whether it's emotionally, mentally, physically, Allah is telling us, go away with it, don't do it, preventing us. Even if your intention to do da'wah is your intention to send the message of Allah, Allah is telling you, don't exhaust yourself to death, even if you are doing da'wah. See how it's a big message, it's a big purpose, it's like a very beautiful purpose to have. But even with this, don't harm yourself with it to a degree that you are destroying yourself to that level, even if you have a good intention toward it. So, subhanallah, and this is how we reflect. If Allah is talking to Prophet Muhammad in that way, we need to apply this in our life. See what type of areas in your life you feel like you're pushing too much to convince someone in your opinion, in your idea, even if you have a good intention. If you want him to have a better life, if you want him to have a better decision, whether it's a son, it's a daughter, it's a family member, it's a friend, try to ask, like, okay, what my job is to give advices. The result of this advice, whether it's gonna work or not, it's not in my hand, it's in Allah's hand. I did my job by giving that advice. Let go of attaching to the result. The more you attach to the result, the more you're gonna be tortured, because the result is not in your hand. In your hand is the sa'i, the effort, the journey you are taking it, the advice that you are going it. But the end result is not in your hand. No one can guarantee a result. So this is something to really take a deep look about it and think about it. And the more you let go of the expectation of what type of result that needs to come out of my advice or out of my help, the more you live a much peaceful life. And this is, subhanallah, Allah is always trying to tell you, put yourself first. If it's causing you harm, then don't do it. Simply. Or do it, but not to this degree when you feel it's destroying me. Then that's the time where you're gonna stop. It's you first, then others. Because if you got to a point that you are already exhausted, you will not be able to provide anything to other people. You will not be able to give and help other people more next. And maybe you will become devastated, and then maybe you will give up the whole thing. Sometimes when you feel like it's too much on me, then you will feel, okay, I'm gonna give it up, all of it. Like if you're doing da'wah, you're doing any type of thing, you're studying for an exam, you're studying for a test, and you feel like it's causing you to be depressed or tired, or your health became very bad, then you feel, okay, then I'm gonna give it up, I'm not gonna study at all. So always have balance in everything in life. Have balance in it so you will be able to continue pursuing it, but without getting attached to their end result. Okay, then إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا. So here Allah is saying, we made whatever on earth as a zina. Zina is something beautiful, okay, like something attract you, something glamorous, something like a decorative things, okay. So زينة لها, لنبلوهم, so we test them. Which one will do a better deed? Okay? So life is a test. Allah can give you lots of things in it. There's lots of beautiful things, lots of a beautiful or a good desires. Lots of us want to do different type of things in life. But again, if you forget that it's a test, you're gonna fail the test. And if you go away into this zina or this decoration or this desires or this attractive things, you will get blinded by the whole or the main idea behind why we're here in life, why Allah created us in life. Where are we gonna go after this life? So it's like Allah is telling us, don't get blinded or occupied by the decoration I give you. Be focused on the main root things that you need to build for the life after, for the thing that lasts forever, not the thing that's gonna go away. This decoration, this zina, this beautiful thing from the outside, the garnish, the things that I give you, it's not the real thing. Focus on the much deeper thing, why you're here. And again, it's a test for you. Are you gonna go do a good deeds or not? Which one is gonna go do the better deed? Okay. So, and subhanallah, again, like the more we read from this surah, the more you realize why Prophet Muhammad ﷺ advised us to recite it each week. It's like a reminder for us to think why we're here. It's all of it. This, like, we're only in the 7th ayah, but we start, all of them is like reminding us of our main purpose in life, why we're being created and so on. Okay. And by the way, like أحسن عملا, who's gonna do the best deeds or who's gonna do the best work? And this is, it's a good thing to be competitive about. Like, it's good to have more money. It's good to have more success in your life. It's good to have like more houses, more, all of these life. But again, Allah is telling us, don't focus on these things that I created for you in the Hayat Dunya. Focus on doing better in the work that really counts in the life after. So there is two type of deeds. You can do a good deeds that will give you benefit in the life dunya, in the Hayat Dunya, or would give you benefit, a work that really you invest in something that really gonna last and you will get the reward of it in the life after, like doing sadaqah, doing zakat, doing like helping others, benefiting others, spreading good deeds that really for the life after, not only for the dunya. Then Allah is saying, وَإِنَّا لَجَاعِلُونَ مَا عَلَيْهَا صَعِيدًا جُرُزًا. Okay? And then we're gonna do whatever on it. Okay? صَعِيدًا جُرُزًا. صَعِيدًا is like straight to the earth. Jurza, that means it's like has no planets. So the meaning of it is like all of it's gonna go away. Everything you see of the zina, of the decoration, of the beautiful things that you are maybe got occupied with in life and hayat dunya, it's gonna go away. It's gonna be like an empty land. So again, Allah is reminding us is that don't invest in something that's gonna go away. Focus on what type of the good investment you can do, on the thing that's gonna last. Because eventually all of that, all the building you try to do, to build, all the life that you are trying to create, it's good to do it. I'm not saying you should not do it. It's good to do it, but focus more on what is more important. What is gonna come with me after I die? What's gonna come in the day of judgment that I'm gonna be accountable for? What's gonna benefit me in that life, not in this life. أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا. Here He's saying, do you think that the people of Al-Kahf, the companions of Kahf that we mentioned, that's the story of it, Raqim, okay, were one of the wonders of our science. So Ashab al-Kahf, as we mentioned, the people who are Kahf, we're gonna mention their story inshallah while we go with the surah. Al-Raqim, in Arabic, Al-Raqim is something like has been written, in order. Okay, so some of them, there's different interpretation of Al-Raqim. They said it's the story has been written on a board. Okay, some of them, they said the place they were near to is the valley there. It's called Raqim. So there is no specific meaning of Raqim. But the general of ayah is like Allah saying, do you think, like they're wondering if this story of Surat Al-Kahf, the story of Al-Kahf, the cave people, is like one of the things that they get amazed by of our sign. Like this is so normal because the Qur'an, all of the ayah, the signs of God subhanahu wa ta'ala is so amazing. It's so something out of the ordinary. So they think that this is one of the ayah that they will get amazed by. This is actually normal, It's like a question, but the question is like, like this is our normal eyes. This is something from our normal abilities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. So let me see, because I do want to start with the story. Maybe we can take 2 ayahs, then we're gonna do a discussion. We can open the place like if anyone wants to discuss something. So let's just finish these 2 ayahs because I don't want to get too deep into the ayahs. Okay. إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. So when these young men, fitya is like a young man, they went to the cave and they said, oh our Lord, give us mercy from you, okay, and find us a good way of our deals. هيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. So in the general of the story, they were running from their people who were not believing in God. So they were afraid. So they decided to go into a cave. Okay, and in this cave, they did this dua of Allah, give us from your mercy and guide us to know from this matter that we are dealing with, guide us to the right pathway. What is the right answer that we can go with? Okay, so subhanallah, this indicates something, like as we mentioned in the Surat Al-Kahf, like what the symbol behind the cave, why the surah was mentioned in the cave. Sometimes when you want to know the answer of something or you deal with a certain situation, you need to isolate yourself from the chaos that's happening in around you, to have a clear mind, to think what I need to do. Sometimes if someone or some people are hurting you, or you're in let's say toxic relationship or something, you need to go away from them to be able to make the right decision. The more you are in the middle of it, the more you will not be able to do the right decision for your own best. So subhanallah, maybe this is one of the things that we can see it or reflect it in our life. Like when you want to do, and this is what we do, like when you, as a life coach, like in general, we advise in journaling, we advise in just hearing your thoughts alone, or even like just trying to express these thoughts and take some time for yourself, meditate, or just stay without doing anything, just with you and your thoughts. Try to just isolate yourself for a little bit, not too much, because too much could cause depression, but just a little bit to be able to be more aware and think clearly. And the more you have this time of this isolation, the more you connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you guide your origin, because Allah knows all the answers. Allah knows what's best for you. Even if you try to figure something out by yourself or solve a solution, you will not know for sure 100% this is the best for you. So you need a higher power. You need to seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who knows what's best for you, the one who knows everything in life, who created you. So sometimes, and this is what we do in our salah is our prayer. We have this special time with us for only you and God subhanahu wa ta'ala. So sometimes, even if you feel like this type of difficulty in your life, just take a time for yourself. Go into your cave. And subhanAllah, this is, I don't know if you read, one of you read the book Men from Mars and Women from, I forget. Anyway, this book, like when it's explained like how men thinks and how women thinks, and they said like men need time always. They go to their caves and they try to think things out. Then they will go out and try to, uh, um, they can talk about it. While women most likely like to talk about it directly, like instantly, without having the time of reflection. So I know maybe there is difference between the mindset of a woman and men, but in general, it's always good and advised to have some your own time, to have a time with yourself, just to reflect and think and see and talk to God, talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, talk to Him to help you. Ask Him to send you a sign. Ask Him, what can I do in this situation? What do you want me to do? And listen to the signs that Allah will send you. He can send you an ayah. He can send you someone saying something. Maybe this session, it could be a sign for one of you. Maybe you see a reel and you see an ayah. This is Allah talking to you and giving you the answer that you ask. But you need to ask. You need to build this connection. You need to have this communication between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't feel that you need to do certain spiritual things before you ask. No. He created you. He knows you better. He understands your language, whatever your language is. Talk to Him directly. Ask Him. And then wait for the answers. Be open to receive the answers. Okay? But so I think we're gonna stop in here. So we will not go too deep in the story. We will leave it to next week, inshallah. So